Hi Taurus, welcome to your December 2019 Astrology 33 reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And also regarding personal readings, just so you guys know, I won't be offering them until probably the second week of December. I'll probably just make an update on my channel to let you guys know when I do pick them up again, but that's roughly the time I'm thinking. The second week of December would be when I pick it up, since I'm going to be doing some traveling toward the end of November and early December. All right, so with that out of the way, we have a Celtic cross spread in front of us as always, and we also have a couple of oracle cards to look at once we get through the main spread and a mudra card. So let's get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Five of Cups. So what this could be pointing to is could be a disappointment that you guys might have experienced back in the time of early in Scorpio season. So basically, let's say the end of October, maybe very beginning of November. Another thing this can be pointing to, since Scorpio is your opposite sign, could just be saying that maybe there has actually been a disappointment in your romantic relationships, possibly an ending. And, this could also just be pointing to the fact that we'll have Mars moving through those first 10 degrees of Scorpio as well as we start December. So that could be what's at play there too. Maybe there's some conflict that you guys might have gone through. Maybe, recording this basically right around the time of the full moon in your sign. So, earlier in November. But, so this could even just be pointing to any of that time once Mars does shift into those first 10 degrees of Scorpio. And like I said, that'll extend into early December. So could be something that some of you have already experienced coming into December, or it could still be on the table coming up soon. And for some of you, this could even be related to possibly trying to put some kind of addiction behind you as well. And the reason I say that, and it could be drinking, of course, since we do see the cups there, but the reason I say that is because in the challenger obstacle position, we had the devil card. So this can just be saying that, this card by itself is already, it shows a difficulty in putting something behind you, putting some kind of disappointment behind you. And like I said, it can't even be some kind of a bad habit or addiction, given that we do see the devil card in the challenge position. But regardless of what this is that you're trying to put behind you, having the devil come up in the challenge position could make it really difficult to put it behind you. You could keep feeling pulled back to it. So, if it's an addiction, obviously, you try to shake it, but you keep feeling that craving to have that. Like I said, it could just be, as a generic example, alcohol, since we do have the cups there and some of them are spilled. Could even be a relationship, though. Maybe this is a ending of a relationship that you've had, and the challenge is to realize that it was a karmic connection, because when I see the devil card, I often see it as a karmic relationship, where because of the way the two people are chained up together, it's one of those things where, okay, they're meant to be together until the lessons are learned, then those chains break free, right? And then think about the Lovers card, for example. We see those same two people, but they're not chained together. So just to give you an idea of the different energies there. And, this can't even just be saying that maybe some of you, because I think we had an obsessive vibe that we talked about in the last month's reading for you guys. So can't even just be saying that maybe because of that obsessive vibe with you as far as your career, maybe that might have actually ended up causing some conflict in your romantic relationships, right? That can happen sometimes. They complain that they don't see you enough because you're always working, something along those lines, right? Maybe even some accusations, especially with Mercury being retrograde in your opposite sign recently. So, that could definitely be what's going on there. But yeah, that's the main things I'm picking up on. In the foundation position, we have the Four of Wands. So this is actually a card of Aries, the last 10 degrees of Aries. So this is actually a pretty good card as far as, to me, it represents stability. It's a combination of Mars and Jupiter energy. So it's like, the Mars is actually putting in the effort, putting in the work, and then the Jupiter lends that bit of luck and expansion quality to it. So this can just be saying that, for one, all right, so let's look at this a couple of different ways. So like I said, maybe there's this karmic relationship that you kept feeling disappointed with the way things would work out, but you kept feeling pulled back to the person, right? So with the Four of Wands and the Foundation, this could just be saying that, maybe that was the problem, that you saw it in this way, because given that Aries is your 12th house, sometimes that could represent things that you might not see too clearly. So maybe you kept seeing it as this stable commitment, but really, the other person wasn't really viewing it in that same way. Another thing this can be saying, though, is that once you do actually finally come to grips with the fact that it might have been just a karmic connection and maybe you guys have learned your lessons from it and it is time to put it behind you, could just be saying that, the reward for that, if you will be the next connection you do get into can actually lead to a long-standing, stable commitment. I mean, if we look at the differences in the colors alone, right? Totally different vibes between the two cards. So, this could just be saying basically, once that's finally behind you, it won't be something that you went through for nothing, right? It was to learn some lessons that you needed to learn and pay back some karma in some way, maybe even from a past life. And now you can move forward into a much more successful connection in the future. All right, in the past position, we have the sun and we have the star. So this is interesting. The sun, technically, this isn't the major arcana card for Leo, but since Leo is ruled by the sun, I do think of that energy a lot with this card. And then we have the star, which is Aquarius. So this could just be saying that maybe in the past you did have a successful balance between your home life, right, which would be Leo, your 4th house, and your career life, which is Aquarius, your 10th house. So it could just be saying that maybe in the past you had that balance, you felt like things were working well. You felt like your home environment was a happy place to be, where you might have had fun, able to kick back, feel relaxed. And then on the other side of that, in your career, you felt like you were on the right path, you were having the success that you wanted there as well. Another thing that this could point to as well, though, could just be saying that you've experienced some growth. And I think Scorpio had a similar combination to this last month, too, where, to me, the way I was seeing the sun card, if we think about it, obviously it's a child there, right? And then if we look at the star, obviously it's a grown woman. So could just even represent some growth that you've gone through, especially because we have the devil card showing up here in the challenger obstacle position, and then after the devil card comes the tower. So maybe you guys went through a tower moment that kind of forced some growth for you, where you ended up moving from that sun energy to the star. So if that's the case, that could just be some energy you're still coming out of, and maybe that's, again, with what the challenge is about here, saying that, you might have grown from it, but yet you still feel that pull back and wondering, well, what was that all about, right? So you've experienced the growth, you've achieved the growth, but at the same time, especially with the retrograde going through your opposite sign, you might have still been replaying the situation in your mind, trying to figure out what exactly went wrong. That could be what's going on there. And then in the present position, we have the Ace of Wands. So this, at the very least, represents the desire to want to take action on something. It can be a multitude of things, but what I always say with the aces, we see the hand coming out of the cloud. To me, that represents it's more of an idea as opposed to someone actually taking that action. So right now, it could just be a thought in your mind that you want to start something over again. Maybe if this is just all of that stuff you're releasing from a past disappointment, now you're finally getting to that point where you are ready to start over. That could be what's going on there. Obviously, this could be pointing to a lot of sexual energy as well. You guys did have Jupiter running through Sagittarius, which is your 8th house, and now, basically we're going to have the sun in there as well. Venus will be there, so there's going to be a lot of 8th house activity for you guys. So it could definitely be just related to something as simple as that, right? Could just be saying that your libido gets a bit of a boost this month. So that could be what's at play there. In the near future position, we have the 8 of Wands. So this is actually a card of Sagittarius. It represents the first 10 degrees of Sagittarius. So this would basically be the very end of November energy, technically. But, obviously, if you guys are watching this in December, that would have already passed for you. But beyond that, this just talks about a lot of activity being taken, a lot of action. Usually it's seen as communication, but it can just be a lot of things, taking on a lot of tasks, And let's face it, no matter where you are in the world, a lot of us celebrate some kind of holidays in December, and people like to wrap things up at the end of the year. So a lot of us are probably going to be in this energy in some way, shape, or form, where we're just taking on a lot, trying to get a lot of things done, wrap things up before the end of the year, balance your, you're going to work, you're trying to shop for gifts for the holidays, you're trying to get ready, get meals prepared. So this could just be the energy that pretty much everyone's going to be in December for the most part, but that's what I'm seeing there. The good thing is, though, for those of you who feel a bit stuck, because at the bottom of the deck here we do have the Eight of Swords. So it's another 8 energy, but this is actually a Gemini card, and it can just be saying, for you guys, Gemini is your house of finance, self-worth. So maybe if you felt stuck in some way, shape, or form in those areas, this can just be showing some positive movement there, going from that Eight of Swords energy, which is stuck, not moving, and then this is almost the exact opposite, right? A lot of movement here. So for those of you who are feeling stuck in like a repetitive loop of some kind, just know that it looks like that will be freeing up you guys a little bit later on in the month. All right, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So what this tells me, well, this is a Virgo card for one, so this can be related to 5th house matters for you, which could be creativity, children, romance. But yeah, with this coming up in the reverse, this can just be saying that, you're not feeling very balanced and stable in the area of finances. So again, same theme we see there with the bottom of the deck. And with this in reverse, though, it shows me that you're close, and maybe even closer than you think, because maybe with it coming in reverse is saying that you're not seeing your actual financial position clearly, right? So, and I think, like I said, we had that obsessive vibe you guys might have been feeling last month. So maybe this is a bit of a continuation of that, where, you're gaining more traction than you think you are, but, you're not seeing it right now. So that's why the Ten of Pentacles could be coming up in reverse for you. For others of you, this can just represent a little bit of instability in your home family life as well. And, like we said, that could be because maybe you have been working so hard in your career that maybe there's been some conflict with the person you're in a relationship with, right? That they're not seeing you enough. But with this in reverse, saying that you're still close, so it can be turned around. In the position of the environment's energy in the situation, we have the world. So this represents completions, successful completions at that, and usually something pretty big. So for those of you, like I said, if this was some kind of a karmic connection you were in, this is showing that you have successfully learned the lessons you were supposed to learn there, and now you're pretty much free from that. Same thing with addictions. If you guys are trying to kick some kind of an addiction, then that could show that you're going to get some progress there. This can represent someone else, and maybe someone in your environment is going through a big achievement like this. But for most of you, I feel like this is actually going to be related directly to you. I mean, we even see the Taurus symbol on the card, right? So could definitely be some movement there. Trying to think if anything else comes to mind. Well, I see this as the North Node sometimes too, and we do have that in your 3rd house of communication. So maybe with the Eight of Wands, maybe it was just a matter of you communicating to this person that you didn't want to see them anymore, right? Or if it was a relationship and you've just been so wrapped up in your career, maybe it's communicating to them, trying to get that back on track. There's a few different ways it could go. But overall, this is a great card to have in your environment position. At the very least, at a minimum, it'll show that your environment will be supportive too. So again, if there is something you're struggling with, just know that in your environment, there are people who are actually there to help you and help you push past that. So some good news there as well. Hopes or fears position, we have the Page of Pentacles. So I'm going to assume that this is probably a fear for you guys. And what I say with this page, it's kind of unique to me because all of the other pages possess whatever the element is. So, Page of Cups is holding a cup. Page of Swords is holding a sword. Wand holding a wand. But with the Page of Pentacles, it looks to me like that pentacle is just out of his reach, right? It's like it's almost there, but not quite. So to me, again, this is a repetitive theme that I feel like you guys are having, where you feel like financially you're not quite where you want to be at. And again, that's pretty common, right? Most people feel that in some way, shape, or form, but it could just be that it's really just been looping in your head a bit more than usual, and maybe it's just become a bit of a distraction for you guys. But that's primarily what I'm picking up on there. Maybe even there's some kind of offer that you feel like you've been waiting for, and you feel like that hasn't been coming through yet. Or maybe you are getting offers, but they're not quite the one you're hoping for. That could be another way it's playing out too. In any event, regardless of how that's playing out, the good thing is in the outcome position we have the Queen of Pentacles. So, I mean, we could see this as a potential growth, right? Which is saying, you're fearing that you're more in that Page of Pentacles position, but in reality, you're more in the Queen of Pentacles position. And how that might take place, right? It could be a few different things. This is technically a Capricorn energy. So this can just be pointing to maybe as we move into the time of Capricorn, you start to see, some improvement in your finances, which is possible. We're going to have Jupiter moving into the sign of Capricorn early in December, and it's actually going to trine Uranus, which is in your sign. So that could be a pretty, beneficial transit for you there. It's a pretty short-lived one, but still, it might spark something off for you guys in a positive way. Might even be a good day for you guys to pick up a lottery ticket or two. Just don't go overboard. But yeah, that's one way that this could be playing out. Again, this could just be pointing to the fact that, you know, when the sun moves into Capricorn, you might feel this way. For example, maybe you get some kind of year-end bonus, right? Maybe you normally do, but it's a bigger one than normal this year. That's one way it could play out. Maybe you even get just more, better gifts than you normally do for Christmas. I don't know. There's a few different ways it could play out. But, you guys are going to have Venus moving through. I'm trying to think of the dates. Hold on, let me take a look. Yeah, so around the time when we get into Capricorn, also, we're going to have Venus moving into your 10th house of career. So that could also give you another boost. So maybe if there's some kind of a promotion you've been trying to get, or again, like I said, for a lot of you, I feel like maybe it's some kind of bonus, or even if you don't receive it right away, you might get word of, okay, this is what your year-end bonus is going to be. I do see some positivity there as far as finances go, and also just feeling more stable too. So, because like we said, we do have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse there to see the Queen of Pentacles. That's a very stable energy, Capricornian energy. So, definitely some positive news there. All right, moving on to your oracle cards. The first one we have is Chopwood. There's the artwork, and the number is 42. So let's see what it has to say. Okay, it says, being grounded in everyday experience, humility. The Oracle's message: there are times when the big dream is meant to lie dormant in your consciousness so that you can pay attention to the simple chores in your life. Consider why pruning a tree is the forerunner of delight in delighting in the beautiful blooms when it is in full blossom. The mundane act of pulling off dead leaves, watering the soil, and then leaving it be to let nature take its course is an important step in manifestation. Taking your attention away from your goal brings you into a state of receptivity. This is the deeper purpose of releasing attachment. When you engage in everyday tasks in a meditative, contemplative way, you clear your energy to receive your aha moments, which bring you ever closer to what you seek. So, pretty good message there. I did like when it was saying releasing attachment. Again, that could be with that devil energy. And like we said, easier said than done, right? If you are in the process of trying to shake that attachment in some way, shape, or form, that's obviously why it's showing up in the challenge position. But like I said, there are some transits that'll be taking place that might actually help you guys out in that regard too. And like I said, possibly even people in your environment that'll be helping you along the way. All right, the relationship message says nothing is as important right now as just doing what you need to do day to day. Let your heart remember that not everything has to be hard won, passionate, or even obviously meaningful. Relationships and friendships go through lulls when the everyday tasks are at the center of awareness. This is perfect now. Hold hands, wash dishes, make a fire, read a book, share a meal, say nothing, stare into space, pick up socks, tell a dumb joke, and leave space to breathe. The work of your relationship right now is very simple, just to be present. Funny how it takes work to just be. All is well, really. So, again, like I said, that could be a theme that some of you have been going through as well, where maybe you've just been so wrapped up in your career, right? Now, like I said, maybe there's someone you are in a relationship with and they're feeling like they don't see you enough. And it's just saying that, just try to set a little time aside for them if you can, and that'll be enough. It doesn't have to be some grand gestures or anything. All right. And then the prosperity message says, now is the time to take small steps rather than larger leaps on the journey to creating your most prosperous life. Move your focus off your big dream and attend to the mundane chores. Focus on the little things that may have piled up while you've been mapping out the greater plan for the life you aspire to manifest into reality. Chop wood, carry water, as the Zen proverb advises, or wash dishes, walk the dog. While you're doing all that, Spirit will have a chance to move mountains and set wondrous miracles in motion for you. Remain humble and aware of the present. So, pretty good message there, too. Hopefully, you guys got something from that. And next, we'll move on to the Spirit Animal Oracle deck card you guys got, which is Coyote Spirit. It says trust in divine detours. There's the artwork for it. The number is 16. Okay, it says, do you find that you are being led on a strange detour in your life right now? Does it seem that what appears to be the next right action and the right choice, best situation, or fabulous relationship unexpectedly turns into the opposite, or just disappears into thin air as if you've been tricked? Coyote Spirit's trickster energy is designed to bring you into situations to teach you lessons you have forgotten to learn. Perhaps you need a taste of failure before you experience success, a need to feel disappointment before you can truly appreciate the joy, love, and prosperity that is coming up for you. Perhaps you are revisiting a pattern you forgot wasn't in alignment with the life you are intending to co-create, being reminded that gratitude, not complacency, will keep you awake and aware of all that is available to you in this moment. Coyote Spirit reminds you to laugh about the unexpected twist, to develop humility and gratitude while releasing your attachments to the form of your desires. Even when you suddenly find yourself on a detour, wondering when you will get back on track to manifesting what you desire, remember that Spirit has a plan and wants the best for you. Trust in divine order now. Coyote Spirit is a divine helper. No matter what appears to go astray, things are exactly as they are supposed to be. So that could be the message there as far as what we see with the Five of Cups, which, like we said, is obviously a disappointment. And maybe with that devil energy, maybe you're just trying to force things to go right in an area where feels like you're hitting your head up against a wall in some way, shape, or form. And it can just be saying that, these are just planned detours that you needed for your soul growth. And with the World card coming up in the environment, like I said, it looks like there will be some positive movements and shifts around that for you guys. All right. And the last thing we have is a mudra card. So the mudra that you guys got for this month is the Kapittha mudra. This is it here. And the keyword for it is creativity. And let's look at what the card says. Okay, so yeah, it looks like everything's in a frame there in case you guys wanted to take a screenshot or pause it, but it says can be used as a tool for sexual healing, releasing guilt and shame around sexuality, increases sensitivity and receptivity, stimulates healthy libido, opens the connection between the pelvis and heart, expands feelings of devotion and loving kindness. So that's interesting there too, because I did mention that we'll have a lot of energy in your 8th house this month. So that could be what's going on there. And maybe even that's what that's about too, that devil energy, right? Like maybe there is some kind of shame around that area for you guys. So this sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you. I will put the name of the mudra in the description as well, so you can check that out. But we'll wrap up there, guys. Happy holidays, and I'll see you all next year. Bye.